Happy Friday, loves. You know those mornings where you just really need a cup of tea? This definitely is feeling like one of those mornings. I've had quite a busy week. Not out and about a huge amount. I've been home quite a lot, but I've had quite a lot of work stuff to do because I'm going away with a friend in a week or so. So I'm just trying to like get ahead on things. And I've also been stepping up my exercise regime over the last 2-3 weeks really, but this week I've been running a bit more, which is not something that I do a huge amount of, and I've done 2 runs in a week, which is the most I've ever done. And I did a longer walk out with Sky this morning, so I just feel like I need a little bit more of a chill day today and rest my body. I'll probably do some nice yoga this evening to kind of like stretch out. Can you see Sky? She's knackered because she's been out with me. So we're both having a bit of a snoozy morning. I thought I would just vlog a weekend in my life. I feel like I've not done just sort of a casual vlog with you guys for ages, so it would be nice to chat and catch up. And this morning specifically I thought I would chat about my weekly planning. So I do all my weekly planning for the following week on a Friday. It means I'm just set up and I know exactly what I'm doing come Monday. And you guys know, well, regular viewers will know I do my planning in Notion, and I also sell Notion templates on my Etsy store. I love it that much. But I've sort of tweaked or like added more detail to my weekly plans recently. So I've expanded it. It used to just basically be appointments and to-dos, and now it's expanded a little bit more to include like my hobbies and my exercise. So I thought I would show you how I've been doing that because that's been really helpful. So I want to bring my tea and head up to my tiny office. So I've just loaded up a new weekly planner. This is the basic format that I include in my Slow Living planner, which is the template I sell on my Etsy store. It's also the one I use myself, but I've just tweaked it, and that's the great thing about Notion is you can change it to whatever you want. You can just, it's a blank sheet basically, and I include instructions and also a video tutorial with all my Notion templates for people that aren't as familiar with Notion, because it is a bit of a learning curve, which is why I created the templates to sell in the first place, because it means you can just get cracking with it straight away. And I mentioned in my mid-year reset video that I filmed for my Substack members that I was struggling a little bit to prioritise my personal life, my personal goals to the same extent as my work ones. So I felt like my planner was working really well for my work life, but I felt like I could do more for my personal life. So I've added things in, and I'm the kind of person as if I've not planned to do something, I won't do it. I'm not very good at spontaneously like doing a workout or indulging in a hobby. Like if I have free time, I can have a bad habit of just doing more work. So this was a way of just like achieving a little bit more of work-life balance. So maybe do a screen recording so you can see exactly what this is, but essentially I've split the week into different columns. So under each day, or under each weekday anyway, I've got what exercise I'm going to do. So if I'm going to go for a run, then I'll just write run, but I do a lot of just free workouts on YouTube. I don't pay for any app or anything at the moment. I have done that in the past, but at the moment I'm just using YouTube. And the great thing about Notion is you can embed videos, so I often do that. So it just means in the morning I just click on it and I can go, rather than having to sort of faff around trying to find a workout. And usually do up to 30 minutes of working out in the morning. That seems to work really well for me. And then under that I have a writing prompt, because I've said that I want to do more writing for writing's sake, not just part of work like I write Substack posts, but I want to do more sort of creative, reflective writing. So I've got things like my nature diary that I write in, I've got my normal sort of journal just for like reflections, and also some creative projects like some short stories I'm working on. I've got somewhere I can write what hobby I mostly want to focus on in the day. So that could be going on a longer hike, reading, gardening, journaling. I don't always have a lot of time every day to do a lot on each of these hobbies, but even if I put it in there, I make sure I spend 10-15 minutes doing something towards that. So if I wanted to make like a little bit of artwork in my journal, maybe one day I can just collect the materials I want to use, or like cut out the materials I want to use or something like that, so prep it. And then basically I have somewhere I can write all my to-dos for the day. I tend to leave my weekends quite free. I tend to do similar things on the weekends. I have like routines that I do. I filmed my day of homemaking vlog recently that showed the kind of stuff I do at the weekends, lots of like cleaning, food prep, that kind of thing, or that's when I do a lot of my socialising. But that's basically it. That's all I have to do, and then it means that on a Friday I can sign off knowing that next week's all set, and I don't have to like think about it or worry about it over the weekend. If I'm getting a bit stressed, I find it's really helped like my mental health, and means I've really been enjoying my weeks. I feel like they're a lot more balanced. So the link to my Slow Living planner will be in my description if you want to check that out. And I think I'm gonna finish planning my week now. A bit of tofu scramble, nice high protein lunch because I am very hungry. This is my favourite kind of morning to be out and about. I really love it when it's like quite damp and cool in the mornings. Everything is still covered with like raindrops that are all glistening from rain last night, a little bit this morning. We might get caught in a shower or two whilst we're out, but that's why I've got my raincoat. I'm okay with that. And I love that the raindrops like highlight all the spiders' webs, make everything smell so much more intense. So the bracken, the ferns in particular, at this time of year is all so high, and that kind of smell always reminds me of like July, August time, especially in Scotland, because obviously it's quite damp here a lot of the time. It's similar to like the wild garlic smell that I always associate with May. Is that kind of like, although it's a different smell, they're both quite deep, like tangy smells. And it's funny how smells can really like take you back and like remind you, you know, bring up lots of different memories. There's a slight cool breeze as well. It's just, yeah, really lovely, quiet start to the day. Some heather coming back out. It starts to blossom again in around July time, and there's two different types here. So I believe anyway this is the crossleaf heather, and this really likes like sort of damp areas. And then over here you can see it's slightly different colour, is bell heather, or just disturbed a bee. Sorry Mr. Bee. And I'm not sure I'll be able to show you on camera, but apart from the colour difference, the best way to be able to tell is their leaves, because these will have individual leaves, like 4 of them, whereas the bell heather, the leaves are more in these like little clusters, these little florets. Wind's picking up. But yeah, we've got 3 types of heather in Scotland, and the most common one, called common or ling heather, is yet to flower, but when that comes out we'll have all this purple and all this moorland and a beautiful heather. It's one of my all-time favourite flowers. I fancy doing some baking today because, as I said before, I tend to do a little bit of food prep most Sundays, or at least most weekends, and I'm craving these hazelnut like granola bar things. It's a Pick Up Limes recipe, so I'll link it down below. And they've always been my like go-to kind of like healthy snack because they're really yummy, they're really filling, and they're just sort of packed full of goodness, but they kind of taste like a treat because you've got like bits of chocolate and stuff in there. So I've not made them in a while. I think they may be a little bit more of a faff than some of the other things I make, so I don't make them all the time, although they're still really easy. I think it's just because I don't have a very good blender, and there's a lot of blending in all of it, so it takes me a while to get everything blended. Well, the other thing that's really good about them is I tend to make the amount, I can't remember, I think it's like 12 bars you make, but I'll freeze some of them. Because they are quite filling, I find that I can't eat more than one, so I'll freeze some of them and then I have like snacks for another week, which is always great. Although I say it's a hazelnut bar, I actually, for some reason I never seem to buy hazelnuts, so I tend to just use almonds because I always have those in my pantry. Hazelnut might be a slightly nicer flavour, but the almonds still work pretty well. So let's get baking. If you're anything like me and your blender might struggle with certain things, you know, a really high speed blender, then I would recommend soaking your dates in like hot boiling water for a little while, even just 5 minutes before trying to blend them. You can even cut them up a bit to help out your blender a little bit, because it just makes the process a lot easier, and you really want to get that kind of paste consistency, because that will really help everything stick together at the end. Something I really like about this recipe is how versatile it is. So once I've got this kind of base, which is like the flour type ingredients with the more paste ingredients together, mixed it together, I can just bake it as that, or you can add in whatever you want. So I'm going to just raid my pantry. I'll probably put in some like dried fruits, nuts. So I've got some like chocolate chips hanging out in my pantry that need eating. So yeah, it's the kind of thing that you can just kind of add what you have and enjoy some more plant goodness.